I went to the University of Wyoming, and I've never been anywhere where I got made fun of for going to Wyoming by everybody in Nebraska, and everybody in Wyoming made fun of me for being from Nebraska. You know, just because we're out here in the Midwest doesn't make us dumb. I tell you what, I'd put our work ethic against any company in the world. Our employees, they're independent, they work hard. You know, we don't deal with the entitled crap, you know? Out here, we do for ourselves. You don't rely on the government or anybody else. There was a guy one time, he said, "Where are you from?" And I said, "I'm from Nebraska." "Never been there. Never want to go." And I looked at him and I said, "That's great, because we don't want you." And I might have had an expletive in there. And he's like, "Huh? We don't want Californians moving into Nebraska. We like it." I had a boss one time who said, "If I hit the lottery, I'm going to buy Nebraska and put a fence around it."
So what makes a good bullet or a bad bullet completely depends on the job of the bullet. Generally, you want consistency though, because you're going to continue to shoot and you want the same thing to happen every single time. Hopefully that's the right thing. It's successful in its performance with the job that you're trying to do, but it really depends on the job that you're trying to do. I'm loading up some test rounds. Doing a dispersion test with .308 Winchester, so testing a couple different propellants. And instead of having them loaded like on the factory floor, we can, load up each batch individually with each powder that we're looking for, and we don't have to switch the machine over or anything like that. So right now I'm setting the cartridge overall length, or how far the bullet is seated down into the cartridge case. I started out longer than I wanted to be, and then slowly work my way down until I get to the desired length. The research and development staff, if you want to call it that, is more so a group of the entire cross-section of the company. You have guys that work in production all day that are contributing to those efforts. That's not their main focus, but the fact that their main focus plays into the aspects of research and development mean that they have valuable input that you probably wouldn't get from those more regimented kind of gatherings that you have at a lot of the companies that are out there. Who needs a great bullet? I would say everybody, depending on their application. It may be, let's say you're doing plinking or volume, target recreational shooting. Greatness may come in the form of value. Maybe you're stretching the extreme limits on ballistic performance and you're shooting a target that you can barely see with the naked eye. In that case, you need different levels of greatness. You need consistency and efficiency and things like that. So I think everybody needs greatness. It's just defined differently based on what they're doing.
So over here is a 300 meter range that we have. We do a lot of dispersion testing and a little bit of short range radar testing here. Jaden was loading up some .308 ammo for us to do. I've got my personal rifle here I use in TAC class PRS matches just to get a better idea of what stuff works for everybody and not just works out of one gun or one situation. Right here we've got our Doppler radar. So what this does, we use it to measure the drag of the bullet as it travels through the air. It does that by sending off a radio frequency, and what you end up getting is you get a line of that bullet from when it leaves the muzzle all the way till it gets to the target. What we do mostly here is dispersion testing. We'll shoot a bunch of different rifles. Whenever we make new bullets or new cartridges, all of those pretty much get shot down at this range. So we try to do as much testing as possible before it gets into the hands of the customers.
Right now we're doing a propellant test, so we're testing a certain bullet and cartridge with a couple different propellants and seeing what the effect of that is. And so we'll use information like that to maybe modify a bullet design, or maybe that will impact a factory ammo load that comes out, something along those lines.
Back in the day when I first started here, of course I had all kinds of motorcycles. I worked for the cycle shop at part-time. So I'd come in here and I'd go through the car parking lot, try to do grandstand around through the parking lot, ride clear out into the dirt. And when I started having children, my wife and I couldn't really pack them on the motorcycle anymore, so I sold the motorcycles off. And then years later, when the kids started graduating from high school, got a motorcycle and I started working on it, and I brought the gas tank in here to clean it up and do some work on it. And that was back when I was in my 40s. Now I'm in my 60s and still riding, so spent a lot of time on the bike when I was younger, so it's just a comfortable place for me to be. Free, it just gets my adventure mode revved up. Makes me feel free and, I don't know, comfortable. I just feel comfortable on a motorcycle, I guess. It's good to be in America. Free means that I can make my own decisions on what I would do and how I do it and where I do it. Well, as far as philosophy in life, you know, I think your character is better built by what you do and how you treat people.
Welcome to Hornady West. This is where the magic happens out here. At Hornady West, we do all the assembly, packaging, inspection, and shipping of our product. As you can see here, we're in the receiving area right now. These are all cartridge cases and components. They're getting ready to be fed into the assembly process for production. That's kind of the start of it. We have multiple trucks coming in daily to feed both our pierce and priming operation as well as our ammo loading operation. And that's pretty much a constant flow in and out of here. So
I live the American dream every day by getting up knowing that in my position, I help people. A lot of my job isn't just making sure that all of the ammo that goes out the door is 100% perfect. A lot of it is coming in and listening to your people.
this is one style of machine that we load ammo on, but we're running some 223 ammo right here. The way the machine works is you see the cartridge cases feeding up through the elevator into the hopper. We've got multiple detects throughout this machine. First thing we're doing is checking for the height of the case, make sure that our head space is accurate. And then throughout the process, we've got our powder feeding mechanism. And then when the ammo's, a finished product of ammo, we feed it into the inspection and packaging process. My favorite part of my day is interacting with the people. That's kind of why you get into a leadership role, is we really try to take care of our people here and give them the keys to success. So we're constantly trying to interact and figure out how we can make things better. And we get most of our good ideas and feedback from those people.
Okay, so as you can see on a lot of these, a lot of them are just dents. And yes, they're dense, they're not gonna do anything, but they're not the level of quality that we want our consumers to get. So anything like this is gonna be pulled out and put to the side so our customers do not receive that.
A lot of it is coming in and listening to your people and making sure that you understand their needs. And they're not just a number, they are a part of your family. I'm here with them as much as I'm at home. So if I'm helping them be successful, not just in their work life and their personal life, it gives me a lot of value in what I do.
I grew up in Grand Island, born here in '49, same year the company started. Had a great lifestyle, I thought. I remember how easy it was for my mother to dress us in the summertime because it was a white t-shirt and blue jeans and that was it. I think growing up in Nebraska was a really wonderful time. I think I had a pretty nice childhood, frankly.
If I had to describe my father in one word, smart. You want some more words? Oh, he drives me nuts, he's so smart. There's times when we're sitting in meetings and you look at him and go, how did you come up with that? How do you know?
I love it. I've always loved it. I've loved it since I was a little boy and I come in here. I don't have any operational responsibility for what goes on here at all. But I do think I see how our company can proceed and the things that we can do to make it better. That's been my thing. We can do this better to improve our lives here, make our company stronger, make our products better, make our customers happier, make our employees more productive, make everybody get along better and be prosperous. And I love it.
You look at them and think they're all doing the same job, and they've been doing it all along. They were all manufactured in the 30s for the war and during the war. So is there some special emotional attachment? No, it's a machine. Not like your first truck, or the car where you conceive your first child. It's not really that.
What do you want for your children? What I want for my children is to be happy with life. I don't care what they do as long as they're having a good life and enjoying it and they're doing what they want to do. That's what more could you ask for your children? I don't see this as some sort of legacy, as something that has to exist into perpetuity. We're a very small family. My grandson is the last of the Hornady name, and I don't know whether he'll come here or my granddaughter will come here. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. But again, what I want for them is to be happy. Go have a good life. Go find what you want to do and enjoy it. If you're doing something that you love, it's never work. What more could you ask for? When my son was giving me a bad time today, he said, "Don't you ever have fun?" No, I don't, ever. But that's not true. But I find it hard to get out of here. I don't like to leave.
What's the most important part of Hornady? It's the people. I mean, I love these people. I love working here. I love my job. And I would just soon hang out with them as I would anybody in the world. There's not a box of bullets worth an employee missing a baseball game. We work to live, not live to work. And we try to make it as fun as possible. Why go to a job and be miserable? Let's make this as fun as we possibly can. But then they took a picture of me and put me on a dummy up on the front roof right out here, like Santa riding a sleigh. And, there's plenty of times it was one of those dumb rednecks doing out in Nebraska. I love being that guy. Shucks, we're dumb. We're in Nebraska. But I also like being the guy who's the dumb redneck, kind of kicking other people's ass. Hey guys. Thank you. Oh, good.
Do whatever you want.
Appreciate it. So that's my friend John Beasley, who is their fantastic customer. Their local gun shop. They carry lots of our stuff, even though begrudgingly they still have some off-brand crap. We try to listen as much as we can, and when you get answers or a lot of times it's aha moments. If John says something about, hey, this packaging really stinks, then we're gonna go change it, and we're not gonna change it, for the next year. We're gonna try and change it for next week, and if it's not next week, it's gonna be next month. That's something that's really hard for a lot of companies to do, because they have so many people in between whoever's collecting the information and whoever's making the decision, and they're worried about budgets, and they're worried about issues or somebody telling them no. Well, my dad might tell me no, but I'm still probably going to go do it anyway, and I guarantee he goes and does stuff without talking to me. So, but that's a dynamic that we have that other people don't, and it's part of the fun of being a family business. John's in a family business. I'm pretty sure he does anything he wants around here and doesn't ask very many people. So, maybe.
How do you, Jason, want to be like remembered?
He was fun to have in hunting camp. Everybody's got their own hunting camp. It might be camping, it might be, Sturgis is going on, it might be the motorcycle rally, it might be whatever it is, See, I don't know why that got to me, but never really had anybody ask me. Told my kids, we're not having a funeral when I die, we're having a party, and I'd rather have people remember me as fun, hardworking, smart, cool, fun to have in hunting camp. Doesn't have anything to do with who shot the biggest deer or any of that. That's the memories are from the campfire.
Started at Hornady in 1983, got 40 years in. Never really would have thought that I would have stayed in one place for 40 years, but my previous employer was a large corporation. I mean, it was a very corporate, strict, rigid, shut up and do your job type place. Worked there 4 years, got laid off, They had a workforce of 1,100 people at the time. And time they got done laying people off, they had a workforce of 650. They didn't care who you were, how good you were at your job. They don't care. If your hire date was between this window and this window, you're out. That's the way it was. Back in 1982. In 1983, come to Hornady Manufacturing, and been great since. Having that job, being able to save money, because you're actually making something, you're not worried about whether or not you're getting laid off. And, getting married, starting your family, having your kids grow up, having your kids go to college, move away, that kind of thing. That's the American dream. Having a chance of being successful, but, it's not gonna be handed to you. You gotta work for it. I think I've done that. It's just like anything else. If you give a half-hearted effort, you're gonna have half-hearted results. I remember telling Steve this when he was interviewing me. I go, I wanna get good at something, and then you won't wanna lay me off. And he hasn't yet. He's threatened to fire me a few times. We always joke about that. But I think I've held up my end of that bargain. I've tried to get good at what I'm doing. Never have quit on it. Whatever gets thrown at me, okay, we're gonna get this figured out. And so far we have.
America, as most of us know it, is a place where you can walk down the street without thinking twice about your safety. You can travel across the country to somewhere you've never been and not really worry about your safety. And in most parts of the world and through history, that's not quite the case, and it's very easy to become complacent. I think one of the biggest contributions that Hornady gets to have, or the impact that they have, is the continuation of the Second Amendment in the United States. Like its true meaning and what it has done for freedom and opportunity and things like that. I don't think it can be denied that if you look historically, that's the bar on the door. And the fact that Hornady does a lot to support the Second Amendment, is a company involved with the Second Amendment activities, I think that's the biggest overall contribution. Because if that goes away, history tells us a very, very bad story.
We have such a good thing in America. It's the best economy, it's the most diverse. We have so much opportunity that really we should all shut up, pinch ourselves, and remind ourselves how lucky we are.
There's no question America is the greatest nation on earth. We are the nation of the world. That is the only one on the planet, the only one that will ever be, the only one that could ever be. That's what America is. I'm proud to be here.